Welcome to Bedtime Sleep Stories for Grown-Ups by Beezy.net. I hope you are settled in for the night and are ready to go on a journey of deep and relaxing sleep. We've put these special bedtime sleep stories for adults for anyone out there dealing with insomnia, sleep problems, sleep deprivation, anxiety, pain, or any other kind of issues preventing you from getting enough sleep and being fully rested and ready to take on the day. We truly hope these stories can help you achieve the elusive, deep, and uninterrupted sleep. Please enjoy this episode and consider subscribing to our channel to support and help the spread of these sleep stories to people all over the world with the same issues that brought you to this video. Thank you for your support and a deep and uninterrupted sleep to you tonight. Let's begin.
Chapter 2. The Seeker's Path. The stone pulsed under Oliver's touch, its ancient symbols glowing eerily under the moonlight. It was a beautiful yet daunting spectacle. The symbols, foreign yet somewhat familiar, told a story of their own. Oliver started to sketch the markings onto his notepad, his hand moving in tandem with the rise and fall of his breath. In the silence of the night, under the watchful eyes of the crescent moon, Oliver tried to decipher the symbols. Hours slipped into the crevices of the night as he wrestled with the riddle before him. Each symbol was an intricate enigma, intertwined with the others, forming a cryptic tapestry of mystery and allure. Just as the sky began to show the first hint of dawn, something clicked. Oliver's eyes widened with realization as he finally deciphered the first symbol. It represented water. His heart pounded in his chest as the puzzle pieces began to fit together. The glow of the symbols faded as the first ray of sunlight hit the Seeker's stone. Oliver stood there, awestruck and exhausted. His mind was a whirlpool of thoughts, but he clung to one single strand of hope. He was on the right path, a step closer to uncovering the truth. He quickly drove back to the bookstore, the early morning air refreshing his tired senses. The streets of Mirwood were quiet, oblivious to the secrets being uncovered on their outskirts. But as he walked through the door of his quaint bookstore, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Back in his apartment above the bookstore, Oliver sprawled on his old leather couch, exhaustion washing over him. The sketches of the symbols were spread out on his coffee table, their enigma keeping his tired mind alert. He was on to something. He could feel it. As he started working on the remaining symbols, he noticed a silhouette moving in the corner of his eye. He quickly turned his gaze towards the window, and for a brief second, he saw a figure standing across the street watching him. By the time he rushed to the window for a closer look, the figure had vanished. His heart pounded in his chest. The feeling of being watched had not been a figment of his imagination. Someone was keeping tabs on him, but who? He double-checked the locks on his doors and windows and decided to call it a night. Days turned into restless nights as Oliver continued to decipher the symbols. With each passing day, he unlocked more parts of the riddle, the symbols representing earth, fire, and wind. Yet the sense of being watched never left him. Every shadow became a potential threat, every noise a cause for alarm. One evening, as Oliver returned home after a supply run, he found his bookstore ransacked. The books lay strewn around, and his sketches and research were missing. His heart sank as he took in the chaos. Whoever had been watching him had decided to make a move. Panic surged through Oliver as he surveyed the damage. His private sanctuary had been violated, and the evidence of his research was gone. The symbols, the interpretations, the connection to the philosopher's secret, all vanished. He was back to square one. But amidst the turmoil, Oliver realized something crucial. His memories were intact. He remembered the symbols and their meanings. The intruder had taken his research, but they couldn't take away his knowledge. With renewed determination, he began to reconstruct his work. In the following days, Oliver became more discreet, more vigilant. He kept his research well hidden, working tirelessly to decipher the last of the symbols. The symbol that had been the hardest to decode turned out to represent air. With all the symbols translated, water, earth, fire, and air, he was closer to understanding the purpose of the Seeker's stone. However, Oliver realized he needed help. The answer was within reach, but he couldn't do it alone. He decided to contact an old friend and historian, Emily. Emily had a knack for solving mysteries and was well versed in local legends and lore. At the quaint cafe in the heart of Merwood, Oliver and Emily sat huddled in a corner. He revealed everything to her: the auction, the theft, the seeker's stone, the symbols, and his suspicions of being watched. Emily listened, her eyes wide with fascination and fear. She agreed to help, although she warned Oliver about the dangers they might encounter. As they left the cafe, they noticed a hooded figure watching them from across the street. They had been discovered, and it was clear. They were not just in an adventure, they were in a race. The realization that they were not alone in their quest for the truth was unsettling. The hooded figure was proof that the stakes were higher than they had ever imagined. Yet it also ignited a sense of urgency within them. They had to find the philosopher's secret before it fell into the wrong hands. Emily turned out to be an invaluable ally. Her knowledge of local history and folklore proved crucial in their investigation. The symbols represented elements of nature, a key concept in many ancient cultures. She suggested that they might have to find these elements in physical form, as part of the greater puzzle. They spent days exploring Merwood's natural landscapes, searching for any anomalies or landmarks that could correspond to water, earth, fire, and air. Each day brought new challenges, new clues, and intensified the thrill of their race against the unknown adversary. One day, in a hidden cave behind the Merwood waterfall, they discovered an artifact, an old metallic sphere carved with the same symbols that were on the Seeker's stone. A sense of achievement washed over them. They were on the right path. However, their moment of celebration was short-lived. As they exited the cave, they found the hooded figure waiting for them. The figure stepped into the moonlight, revealing a scarred face and cold, menacing eyes. "Give me the sphere," he demanded, his voice echoing ominously against the cave walls. They were cornered, with nowhere to run. Oliver and Emily were at a disadvantage, trapped between the looming waterfall and the ominous figure. The stranger's eyes glinted dangerously in the dim light, focused on the artifact in Oliver's hand. "No," Oliver responded, his voice firm despite the rising fear in his heart. The artifact was the first physical piece of the puzzle they had found, and he wasn't ready to hand it over without a fight. In a swift movement, the stranger lunged at them, but Oliver and Emily were quicker. They dodged his attack and split up, making it harder for him to target both of them. Their peaceful exploration had turned into a desperate fight for survival. Oliver, wielding a sturdy branch, distracted the stranger while Emily slipped behind him. In a well-coordinated move, Emily struck the attacker with a rock, making him stumble. Seizing the opportunity, Oliver hit the stranger, making him lose his balance and fall into the waterfall's basin. Gasping for breath, they hurriedly left the cave, their hearts pounding in their chests. As they drove back to Merwood, the sphere safe with them, they knew the game had changed. It was no longer just a pursuit of truth. It was a dangerous clash against a faceless enemy who wouldn't stop at anything to get what they wanted. Back in his bookstore, Oliver couldn't help but think of what lay ahead. They had only just begun to unravel the secrets of the philosopher's secret. He knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but he was not about to give up now. What will Oliver and Emily do next? How will they face this new threat? Find out in Chapter 3, The Philosopher's Secret.
We've now come to the end of this chapter. Please stay tuned for the next chapter of this story to be published in the upcoming days,